Hello, welcome back. Today's topic is limit gauges. In this topic, we discuss about the definition and classification of limit gauges. They are defined as the scaleless inspection tools used to check the dimension of parts. Then they do not determine actual size or dimension of a part, or these are not used for measurement. And these are used to check whether the inspected parts is within the specified limit, that is the maximum limit and minimum limit of a feature. And if the gauges are used to check whether the inspected part is within the specified limit, and these type of gauges are known as limit gauges. And if the part is qualified that it is the inspected dimension is within the specified limit, okay, that is accepted. If it is outside the specified limit, that will be rejected. The gauges are classified according to the type. It is according to type, these are classified as standard gauge or limit gauge. Then according to the surface to be tested, it is plug gauge. Plug gauge is used for checking holes, and snap gauge or ring gauges, which are used for checking the shafts. Then according to their design, these are of single limit or double limit gauges, single and double end gauges, then fixed or adjustable gauges, like that. And finally, according to purpose, these are classified as workshop gauges, inspection gauges, purchase inspection gauges. Whenever we are purchasing the parts from outside vendors, it has to be inspected before used for our purpose. So that is known as purchase inspection gauges. Then a reference or master gauges. We will consider the first classification of gauges, and in that the important is given to the limit gauges. So the limit gauge is used for checking the limit of dimensions of parts, that is low limit and high limit, or otherwise known as minimum limit and maximum limit. And these gauges, because each gauge contains one set of gauges contains two gauges, that is, one is go gauge and one is no go gauge. And one is actually definitely used for checking a particular limit, and another one is for the next limit. If go gauge is used for maximum limit, then no go gauge is used for checking the minimal limit, and vice versa, depends on the feature of the part. So in limit gauges, we need two limit gauges. One set of limit gauge means it contains two limit gauges. One is known as go gauge and another one is known as not go gauge. And the go gauge is such that it should pass through the or over the parts, while no go gauge should not pass through or over the parts. So that is the condition for acceptance. So go gauge should definitely pass over the parts or dimension to be checked, and no go gauge should not pass over the part or dimension to be checked. If any one of this condition is get violated, then the part will be rejected. And the application of this go end and no go gauge is shown in this picture for measuring a hole. And this is actually the go gauge and no go gauge is used to check the dimension of a shaft. Further, the limit gauges are classified as plug gauges, ring gauges, taper gauges, snap gauges, thread gauges, form gauges, feeler gauges, and indicating gauges. And out of this, these two are very important. And the plug gauges are used for checking holes, and ring gauges are used for checking external diameter measuring gauges. Similarly, snap gauge is also used for measuring the external features, And ring gauges limitation, the use is limited to check the round cylindrical objects only, cylindrical shafts only. But snap gauges can be used for measuring other type of cross sections, that is rectangular shaped shafts or square shaped shafts, etc. Here it shows the images of various kinds of plane gauges, that is limit gauges. And first it is the plug gauge which is used for checking the dimension of a hole. And we can see that go end is marked like this and no go end is marked like this. And the identification of go gauge and no go, visual identification can be possible because the length of this cylindrical portion is larger in go gauge and it is shorter here in the no go gauge. And also in no go gauge, here in this groove, there is an additional groove is provided over here. Usually it is painted with red in color to uh, uh, differentiate that from the go end. Then second, you can see that the snap gauge is shown in this picture, and one end will be a go and another end will be a no go, that will be stamped on the body of this gauge. And here it is, this is showing the ring gauge. Okay, so this ring gauge is only this is actually a ring gauge made for checking 25 small h7. So small h is corresponding to the shaft fundamental deviation, that is the basic fundamental deviation for a shaft, that is represented with a small h. And this ring gauge, this particular ring gauge is classified as go ring gauge. So definitely it will have a pair of no go ring gauge, just like this one having a small change. So that two are combinedly used for checking the diameter of a shaft. These gauges are further classified as double-end plug gauge or double-end snap gauge or progressive gauges. So in this picture, we are considering a double-end cylindrical plug gauge. That means the go end, this is the go end, and here it is the no-go end. So the go and no-go gauges are provided on both ends of a gauge. Then it is known as a double-end plug gauge or double end gauge. And in this case, you can see that both are the go gauge and the no go gauge are provided on a single side of a gauge. Then it is known as a progressive or step gauge. So the similar example you can see in snap gauges also. So here the picture is showing the double end snap gauge, and here it is the progressive snap gauge. H7 21H7 ring gauge is shown in this video. So it is actually used for checking the shafts or a pin. So here you can see that it is used for the go ring gauge is used. Now it is actually simply inserted into the shaft, and the no go, you can see that that is not entering. That means this shaft is according to our limits, and that is acceptable, and the part is confirmed within this dia 21 H7 dimensions. The next portion, we will discuss about the design of gauges and the Taylor's principle of gauge design. Thank you for watching.